Hello and welcome back to the Slackware ARM vlog. If you're new to the channel, this vlog is really covering the behind the scenes of how I build the ARM port of the Slackware Linux distribution. It's one of the oldest open source projects in the world. It's been going for about 31 years at this point, certainly over 30. And the Slackware ARM port, I started that just over 22 years ago. This year, in fact, in January, I started it 22 years ago. These two machines were used to port Slackware to the ARM architecture. And so, I think about 15, I don't know how many years, it's like at least over a decade, these two machines have been apart. Because I gave one of them, this one, I gave this one to Darren Austin, who runs the Slackware UK mirror service and a few other things. I gave this to him many years ago because I wasn't using it anymore because I'd since moved on to other hardware, and he was interested in using it. I think for nostalgic reasons or something like that. Because in the UK, acorns were very popular within the educational. Within schools, really, within the educational domain. So many people, including myself, became familiar with Acorn computers, which is, and the BBC prior to that. Some of you may, if you're in the UK, may know about the BBCs. And the Acorn machines, the RiscPCs, were kind of like the next generation of the BBCs. Not quite, but more or less. So anyway, yeah, I gave this to him many years ago, and I've been asking for it back for a while. So finally, he's given it up, and I met him last weekend and picked this up. He assured me the last time he tried this machine, it still worked. So I have already turned it on. I've given it the ceremonial dust down with the air compressor, and it does indeed boot. However, all the configuration is lost because the battery that contains the CMOS settings was empty because it hadn't been turned on for ages. And I don't think we need to close the window because it's raining.
It is raining.
It starts to get a bit of noise on the roof here. The CMOS battery is dead. I probably need to replace it. I don't know. I don't think they take rechargeable batteries. I'd have to check. Pretty certain they don't, but I'll have to double check on that one. If you guys know about that, whether these take rechargeable batteries and what type they are, let me know. If not, I'll just open it up, pull it out and have a look. The really good news is that it still boots. So ultimately what I wanted to do was boot this bad boy up and boot the boot Slackware ARM as it was 22 years ago. When I left this, just left it and moved on to other hardware. I just left everything on the hard disk and moved on. So I wanted to boot up to see what that environment was like, this 22-year-old Slackware ARM installation. But alas, that's not on. I didn't give Darren any of that stuff by the look of it, or he's taken the hard disk out, I'm not really sure. But the good news is that once I get this working and reconfigured and everything like that, I'll take the hard disk out of this machine, which is one of the ones that you may have seen on a previous video where I I dismantled it and showed you the extent of the damage that's occurred from the leakage of the battery. But in here is the hard disk. I don't know which one it is, whether it's that one, it's probably not that one. It's maybe one down there, I don't know. But there should hopefully still be the original Slackware OS that I was using for building Slackware. The original build OS should still be on one of these hard disks. So I'll take it out of here, put it in there and get it booting. If that doesn't actually still have Slackware on it, I'll boot the Slackware installer and just install Slackware. I did document all of that stuff, so I'm pretty sure I should still be able to follow it and get it working. So yeah, these two machines are the original build machines from over like 2 decades ago. Still, that one's still in good shape, well actually it's not in good shape anymore because the battery leaks. For those of you who commented providing information about, suggesting I could repair this machine, thank you very much for that. But I'm not going to do that because I've got one of the other ones back which does actually boot. The effort and money required just isn't worth it. So I'll leave this one as it is and we'll just focus on getting this one working again. Okay, so we've got a monitor plugged in, so I'll show you what it's looking like. So we have our Acorn branded keyboard. So let's turn this on. there is a bit of a time delay between the monitor detecting which input to use. I don't know if I can change that. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Unknown interface on Etherlan unit. Okay. Yeah, right. What date does it think it is? Or is it start time? I can't remember. Time. 1900. Yeah, so it thinks we're in the year 1900. So let's reboot that. So that's an indication that it's... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's... Right. So what it's saying is disk error. Now, if I didn't know anything about RiscOS, I'd be like, oh no! I'd be devastated thinking that my hard drive had died. But actually, because I know RiscOS, this doesn't mean that. It actually means I can't find a hard disk. Not that I found one and it's full of errors. I can't find one. It's not a problem. We'll click cancel. Maybe you can see here that it says 1999. So this machine actually has RiscOS 4. It has the RiscOS 4.02 ROMs that I bought to replace the older version of RiscOS. So that's from 1999. Now the thing is, what it's trying to do, because it's lost all its configuration, it's trying to boot off the onboard IDE hard drive, which usually is situated at the bottom here. I have checked that there is no hard disk there, so that's fine, but there is a hard disk inside. So this machine, I should open the machine. I'm not sure what this is going to do. It might eventually time out. I'm not really sure. But so if you look inside the machine, we can see we've got a RapIDE or RapIDE. I don't know. I always called it RapIDE, which is here. This interface here. Okay, and then that's plugged into. So the primary hard disk is actually this. Oh, there we go. Oh, it timed out. That's good. Yeah. So that's the expansion board. So we're using a separate daughter. So we're using a separate IDE card here because it was faster.
Separate daughter.
Oh no, I was going to say daughter board, but it's not a daughter board. It's an expansion card. A daughter board is something else where you've got like a separate processing unit living on a main board. They're called daughter boards. That's probably not the right description for a daughter board, but you guys can correct me in the comments if you like. It's not the hardware is not my forte. I know enough to play around with stuff and generally plug things together and fix it and that kind of thing. But the good news is it has booted. What I'm going to do is try and set the time. So set clock, because if I can, that would... can I actually type this in? I'm not going to have to click on this, surely. No, don't tell me I have to type... Oh, you're joking. Okay. Is there a faster way where I can just like skip, like, was it like decades or something? Okay, no, I'll just have to hold it down. It's not that bad. Right, 2025. I tell you what, let's just set it.
It's not Wednesday.
It doesn't matter. Right, because what I want to do is if I'm now, you don't actually have to shut this down, Nate, gracefully, because it's not it doesn't have any open data files.
But how's the alarm going to go off?
Oh, it's not. Oh, the program's called alarm, but that's also used to set the clock. So what I'm doing is, I'm just going to power it off because it's going to try and run shutdown. What I want to try and do is to figure out whether the CMOS battery is still capable of holding settings whilst the machine's powered off. So I've set the time to, I've set the year to the current year, and that will at least allow me to realise whether I need to change the battery or not. So that's okay, we don't care about that. I just want access to the command line or the time application again. What is that noise? What is that? Oh, it's the... Oh! Ah! Oh, Darren left a CD in there with something on it. You can see, you probably don't know, do you,
Maxwell.
my camera camera girl, that on CDs...
It's rainbow.
Yeah. On CDs, you write the data is written from the inside out. So if you look here, do you see a difference between the colours? So this one's sort of more, not opaque, but so you can you see the difference? You've got this circle here. There's a difference in colour. Can you see it?
It's a circle.
No, yeah, I know, but do you see a band of circle here and then there's a different colour here? On the outside, yeah?
Kind of.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't show up that well.
It's a bit green.
Yeah, so the part where it's the inner section here, where you've got this inner band, that has data. That's discoloured because of data. And this is it an RW? Oh no, it's not. It's just a regular writable CD. Yeah, so that means that's where the data lives on the CD. Anyway, we don't need that. Don't know what's on there.
What's Maxwell?
That's the brand name. Okay, so the question is, if we open up a command line, is it Shift and F12 or something like that? With a control. What is it? Oh, Shift and F12. That's what I thought. Oh, okay, that means Control and F12. Right, time. 1900, right. Okay, so this proves that the battery... So I've set the clock, saved the settings, turned it off, and then turn it on, and you can see the time is back to 1900. So that indicates that I will have to buy a new, or install, I have to buy one. I might have some actually in my battery box, but I'll have to install a new battery, but that's okay, not a problem. Again, if you guys know what the battery type is, please let me know in the comments, because that would be quite helpful. But at the moment, I don't know what's on that disc. It says we could look. Let's have a look. I don't recall giving Darren that disc, but who knows. This disc is one I gave Darren, because this is my handwriting on this old disc. So that's going to be useful. But this says RapIDE 32. Let's see. Okay, Rapier. Ooh. Oh God, I remember this. Yeah. So you have to configure it. Let me see. So if you click on, what does that do? I can't remember actually. I remember this tool. Devices. What is that? Oh, no device. That's not good.
Trashed it.
Oh, that's not good.
This is speed test.
Start modules. If you look at the modules I loaded, hopefully the RapIDE ATA FS, yeah. So I just happen to know this from memory, but this ATA driver is from the RapIDE card. If I took out that card, that driver shouldn't be loaded. But the question is, why does that not find anything? Hang on, it is actually plugged in, right? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. It doesn't work. There's no hard drives because somebody, it's probably me actually, has unplugged the. I must have. Oh yeah, I did this the other day because I gave this a good thorough blasting with the air compressor, and that meant dismantling it to some degree. So I've actually disconnected the power supply for the hard drive. That'd be why it doesn't work.
Does this one have the spider?
No, that was a PC. This is a completely different machine.
Thing.
There's no spiders in this bad boy.
There's rats.
No, there's no rats in here. No.
Yes, there is.
There's no rats. Don't worry about rats. Right, let's try it again. Is it actually the data cable? Yeah, cool. Right, so we should hear this one spin up now. Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, listen to that. Yeah, love it. Right, we'll just put those in because machine, yeah, whatever. Cool. Right. Okay, so we booted the machine. I've got the hard drive plugged in this time. I'm just going to see what's on the other disk.
But what was on the yellow disc?
Oh, that's on the yellow disk was just a copy of the software I need to set the hard disk up. So, you know, it's so funny. I haven't held a floppy disk in my hand for years, let alone put one in a drive. This is called a flop. That's a good question because on the outside it's solid, right? Or kind of. But on the inside, you see this here?
Yes.
If you were to pull this apart, the internal disk is floppy, so you could literally go wobble, wobble, wobble.
Do it?
No, because then the disk will be broken.
Damn.
So if I just peeled it apart, you'd see. I mean, you see. So basically, this little metal circle. If you see there's like a grey-coloured film attached to it. That's the disk. It's actually floppy. It's wobbly. That's why it's called a floppy disk. Even though itself is on a rigid case, well, it's not that rigid, but anyway. I actually thought I'd never need a floppy disk again, so I threw them all away years ago. These are the only 2 floppy disks I actually own. Anyway, So, RapIDE, let's have a look. Come on. This is how, ooh, disk error. Whew. Okay, that's an actual disk error because there's something wrong with the floppy with the floppy disk. Fortunately, we have a copy on here, so we'll just run it from here instead, and hope that. So this is one of the issues with floppy disks. You just got errors on them all the time. They just got, you know, I don't know.
Why do you have to?
Well, as a backup.
But if obviously you're going to need a backup.
Yeah.
Well, if that was a backup, then the not backup isn't working, and the backup wait, no, what?
A backup's just a copy of the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
So
But
this.
the backup one isn't working.
No, well, this would have been the original one because I wrote on it with pen. This one doesn't. So I always wrote down what was on the floppy disks. In the old days, you'd have a paper label that with glue. You just glue it on. You had lines on it, like coloured lines, and it folded round to the back like that, so you could neatly do everything. Obviously, I didn't have any labels left, so I just wrote it with a overhead projector pen on there. Anyway, right. So let's open this here.
It's thundering.
Rapier.
It's rapid.
Probably Rapier is probably better to say on YouTube, yeah, because otherwise I might get like some weird thing. Right, so it doesn't find any devices. Auto install. What does that do? Please find. Yes. Okay, we found a Maxter drive. There won't be any other drives, but it'll do a bit of scanning. Okay. Why is it looking? Oh yeah, because you can have 4 drives plugged in because there are 2 channels. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's all this for?
What's what for?
Putting discs in this and showing it. Like, what's the point in this?
So the purpose of this is because, right, so I'm doing this because ultimately what I want to do is, for nostalgic reasons really, just boot the original port to Slackware ARM that I started 22 years ago, just to see what it was like, what state I left it in. Because I spent years working on this thing. It took me like 5 years to get the thing where I could actually distribute it and anyone could use it. So I just want to go back and see what it was like. So the first thing is getting this machine configured properly so that it boots properly, not boots up with errors and stuff. Choose a disk, Maxter. Does it have any partitions? Oh, it's saying that it kind of doesn't. Right. So ATAFS dot.
What's
Okay.
nostalgic mean?
It just means that you feel some kind of warmth and interest in. Ah, it's there. It works. Right, hold on a minute. Filer. So in my case, when you think about nostalgia, it means in a case of computers, it means I just think, you know, I'd really like to play on one of my really old computer games or some really old software or something else I used to do, you know, like back when I was a kid. And you just get into it for a few hours, and then after a while you think, oh, it's fine, and put it away again. Which is kind of what I'll do here, to be honest. Sometimes it's just nice to go down memory lane and have, you know, exercise some of your nostalgic feelings. So the question is, how do I? Is it $? Oh yeah, I had NetBSD running at one point. So basically, what it looks like I can do, I should be able to take out one of the drives out of here. Figure out and just move everything around and then get Slackware booting on this machine. So the way it works is, once I've got all this set up, I'll boot it, and then yeah, you boot Slackware, you boot Linux, the kernel, from RiscOS. So the machine opens up in the GUI environment. You double click on the application, the Linux loader, and then it boots Linux. Hopefully it all should work because it used to. So. Right guys, well, hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll have taken you down a small part of my nostalgia lane. So when I've got time, I'll sort the battery out and configure this thing, and then I'll do a video where we can hopefully either boot the old dev installation or boot the Slackware installer. Maybe I'll do both, I don't know. Maybe I'll see the dev installation was such a mess and I'll just reinstall it. Who knows? I'm pretty certain the installer worked. I mean, I know the installer worked because I ported it at the time. So, yeah. Thank you very much for your support, as usual. It helps pay for the electricity of running all this stuff, new hardware and all that kind of stuff. So, thank you everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.